Man, oh man, today was crazy. Today was awesome. I love to see this beautiful movement that we have been seeing for the last couple of months. My very first video ever on CLOV was made in May, right before the big squeeze to $28.85 at the beginning of June. And after that, we did see a little bit of an increases, to $10, but then we saw all going all the way down into the $7 range. And at that time, I was saying, at $7, at $7 freaking dollars, that's my super buy range. And boy, oh boy, did I super buy in that range. And so when I look at the price today, and see that it's $8.92 freaking cents, it all comes together. I'm so happy. I'm so pumped to see this continuous movement that we have about a stock that we love very, very much. Okay. And so, I could not have asked any more than what we experienced today. We saw huge increases, and it was basically meme mania, okay? You saw all these other stocks as well go up. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick detour. GME. Look at GME, okay? Look at that graph. Look at this graph. Look at AMC graph, okay? Every single big meme stock out there, BlackBerry was included as well, right? Every one of them felt like they went up at the same time. On my Twitter, I even posted a picture saying, find the differences between these. It's kind of like that, the Office meme or whatever, right? Where it's like, can you find the difference? Corporate wants you to find that difference, right? And so overall, today was just a beautiful day, right? To be a shareholder of Clover Health, especially if you have been buying the dip these last couple of weeks and getting in on that great opportunity in the $7 range and in the low $8 range as well. So the question is, is this thing going to sustain? Is this stock going to sustain? Let's take a look at the after hours. At the after hours, we were at $8.88. We only dropped 4 cents, 0.45%. So yes, if it was fake news, if it was something that was, not a real deal, then yeah, we probably would have seen a little bit of a dip in the after hours. But take a look at the day. We opened up at $8.15. Very, very good. Very good. We've seen that for the past couple of weeks, $8 range, low eights. But in the morning, we saw something very interesting. At 10:19 a.m., we saw a big increase on the stock to $8.50 alone, 57 cents actually. And that was pretty good. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so pumped for that alone, okay? And, in the Discord, I was in the Discord as well. I was like, yes, abso-freaking-lutely, yes. And at that point in time, we knew, hey, we're doing well. We're going over the volume-weighted average price, that VWAP line for the entire day, okay? But then we dipped down a little bit. But we started having a little bit of George W. A little bit of the double bottoms there. And then finally, right at 11:55 a.m., we started a super trend up. Hitting an intraday high of above $9, $9.10. That is awesome, okay? After that, we cooled off. We cooled off a little bit. You can't be going up all the time today, but we did cool off a little bit, where we closed the day off at that $8.92. Again, meme mania, again, being part of that is awesome. Even though, I don't fully believe that Clover Health is truly a meme stock, okay? When I look at it, the fundamentals look good. The company looks strong. The growth potential, wow, okay? And so the fact that we're still under the $10 range to me is still, in my opinion, a buy. I will be buying at least up till 10, maybe even after that to a certain extent as well, depending on how much we increase, right? But at the end of the day, anything under 10, anything under that list price, anything under the price targets, which we'll talk about in a bit, is a big buy for me. So overall, great day. The volume was not that high. Again, we increased off of low volume, 37.67 million, lower than the 57.09 average. And we take a look at the order flow, and boy, oh boy, we did have a lot of inflow compared to outflow for this stock for the day for large scale orders. Again, great news all around surrounding this stock. So, you take a look at that, right? And you take a look at the movements today, and you're like, okay, where do we go from here, right? And so when I take a look at this, there's a couple of key things that we have in mind, right? One is options. We want to take a look at options because you want to know, is this thing about to change back into the potential that we've seen back in early June? Are we about to skyrocket again to very high 20s or even past that, right? Because when I see, AMC and GameStop, right? When I see them do their initial jumps to a certain extent, especially AMC, we saw it go, from $8 to like $19, right? And that was at the tail end of January, right? And then it cooled off. Because I remember I had shares, right? So we cooled off to $8, going in the $6 range, right? And then it shot up, okay? And so the question is, are we similar to AMC, right? Are we similar where we saw a little bit of an increase, cooling down, which $28 would be that first one, cooling down, and see even bigger one? Because if so, that would put us in that $70, $80 range, hopefully, if we see that same momentum. So hopefully we get there, right? But there's a couple of things that we want to keep in mind. We want to keep in mind who is buying this. Who are the institutional ownership, right? Who is getting into this stock? And there have been some big key players out there. Morgan Stanley on August 23rd, 821,000 shares. That is a lot. That is a lot of shares to get into. That's really, you see any big institutions get in, that is huge, okay? So, if you see some people like that, you see some big institutions like that, again, just good signs to see. And of course, we have these articles. And I spoke about this article, before. Clover Shorts will likely burn, valuation revisited from seeking alpha. Okay. And again, this was the first one that said, hey, let's go to make it outperform. Right. But the thing is that when will the actual price targets change? I feel like that we are on the turning point for more big companies like Bank of America, banks in general, just changing their price targets on Clover Health. We haven't seen one in a while, right? And if we see a bullish sentiment for that price target, so it goes back to, in my opinion, where I believe it should belong, in the high teens, low 20s even possibly, but at least the high teens, back where it was at the beginning of the year, then we should see more people get in on this. And we probably will see even more retail investors getting in on this as well. So super important to think about that potential and that being as a catalyst. But, we still had some stuff on the table, some stuff that needed to be finalized, right? We had the warrants, and for the warrants, we're done with it, right? You either acted on it and got 0.249 shares per warrant, or you got 10 cents cash. Okay, if you did anything, you got 10 cents cash per warrant. So we're done with that. And that's really good news. A little bit of stress for the people in the long positions is off the table. So that's actually some really good news that we got that done. And of course, I'm definitely a person here for the long run. I've said that, consistently, right? I'm here for the long run. Is it wrong for someone to take profits though if we see a squeeze? Absolutely not, right? But I am here to see the company grow and grow and grow. I think that it is a very good long-term stock, and hopefully my hope for it is that it will actually at least beat the S&P 500 every year going forward. If you average out, 10 years, average out the S&P 500 10 years, let's see it beat it. That is something that I want to see. And it has, you look, not this, so in general, companies like this have, right? They beat the S&P 500 in the past. They even beat certain tech companies as well. And so that's something that they mention in the investor presentation at Clover Health. But, so we're done with warrants, right? The next thing that I want to talk about real quick, is this article. 2 reasons why buying CLOV could be a good idea. This came out yesterday, right? Today is Tuesday, right? It came out yesterday on the 23rd, and definitely has some really good points in there. The first one, strong revenue generator. okay? 140% year over year. That's huge, right? When you see 140% year over year, I think they were expecting 40% for this stock. You know, when you look for hyper growth stocks and you really want to see, you want to buy when it's very heavily undervalued, that is a really good sign that you're in the right place. Talks about direct contracting, talks about Clover Assistant, AI software program. Anything involving AI, in my opinion, is the future. When you think about health, you think about making decisions, taking in all the data from, you know, all the other examples out there of someone getting sick because of this disease or sick because of this disease. What did they do to fix it? What are the symptoms that they have compared to other people, right? And making decisions to help out with that. You know, healthcare is definitely the place to have AI. It's the best place. Health is so important, especially for the American people. Definitely so important. Short interest is still high. That's absolutely true. Okay, that's absolutely true. And we're going to get into that in 1 second. And so, yeah, we're going to get into it right away. And so, you know, if you like this video so far, please smash that like button for me. It really does help. Also, subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications on my upcoming videos. I really do appreciate it if you do subscribe. In Ortex, we can see that the current short interest percentage of the free float is sitting at 18.13%. And you're like, oh, you know, that's lower than many weeks before. And that's because there were more shares. Now we got, if you looked a couple weeks back, it was at 12, the equivalent of 12%. So right now we are coming out of this little dip that we've experienced for the last couple of weeks, and we are booming. 1.35% short interest change for the day. The cost to borrow average is going up 4.47%. Cost to borrow max 8.29. We got a little bit of 4% gap right there. So that's really, really good to see. Days to cover, 1 day, over 1 day. Over 1 day. We haven't seen over 1 day in such a long time. And utilization rate, everything's going up so far. 99.45%, 43%, 99.43%. Again, really freaking high. Almost 100. I want to see it at 100 again. That, to me, that would be interesting. Or no, that would be fun to see. Absolutely. So the next thing is the short shares availability. Okay. Right now, we have 100,000 shares available. Earlier in the day, we had 0. Early in the day, we had 0. So again, not many shares out there to be loaned. Okay. Not a lot of shares to go out to be loaned. So definitely really good to see. And the short borrow fee rate, 3.47%, still rising. Again, before $28.85, 1%, 2%, 3%, boom, right? So we might be in that same situation where we see pretty short borrow fee rates increasing over time. The last thing is that short squeeze score, 80.25, still pretty good. 1,071 out of 9,169. So not as high as it was at number 1, but of course, this changes on the daily, so we'll have to check and see how that moves. Next, we're going to take a look at the options activity, right? We know that we passed August 20th. August 20th was a big day. It was kind of, in the sense, a letdown. And that's kind of the reason why I don't invest too much of my money in options. High majority of my money is in shares. I do have some options for certain stocks out there, and certain ones that I've talked about on my channel as well. But when it comes down to it, having shares is the safest bet if you believe, see, if it doesn't happen in the short run, you still have a long term and you don't lose all your money. Like if you're out of the money, you stay out of the money, you could lose all your money there. So it's definitely a risky thing to do options if you're not careful. But in terms of the 27th, we look at it, we're at 909.72 thousand bullish, 518.75 thousand bearish, so still pretty good on there. We got a big, kind of looking in the future, we do have a lot more bearish than bullish for the 17th of December. And I look at that and I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? What are they expecting, right? Are they expecting it to go down to 6 or to 7 back again? Like, is that kind of like it? So So I think that we'll definitely see a little bit more changes for December 17th going forward. Maybe that's stuff that has come from the past. It probably is because people are like, oh yeah, when it shot to 28, everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna buy puts, and so that would make sense, I would say, from that standpoint. And so next, we're gonna take a look at the maximum pain. $8 for this week. We're already past that. We're already past the maximum pain for this stock for the week. And I hope basically we just got to hold it or go higher. And people, earlier in the day, we were so hyped. We were so hyped about this in the Discord. And it was like, okay. Are we gonna get to $10 today? It didn't happen, right? But we did pass 9, and that was, to me, very critical to get that push. And we saw by the way, we saw a ton of sell walls. Okay, I think at one point I saw like a 40,000 sell wall, and I'm like, those are fake. We just broke right through it. Right, we just break right through these things. So they're just trying to, you got all these scare tactics out there, just saying, hey, let's put up a bunch of shares at this price point, and people are like, oh my God, can we make it through, right? But a lot of the times they're fake. They'll pull it out right before we hit that number or that amount and everything. So. Of course, I want to talk about dark pools. I know that I have a whole 5-minute video on my channel. That was my very last video that I made. Check that out. Dark pool's 59.47% of the volume, much higher than usual on a bullish day, mind you. That is pretty uncommon, in my opinion, to have a lot of dark pool volume on a bullish day, 10% more than the 30-day average, a lot higher. It seems like almost 5 times as high, as the NASDAQ. So very high dark pool volume, very high amount of institutions, pensions, banks, etc., like trading in the dark pool with huge blocks. And check out my video. I'll have it like linked on some card at the top if you want to check it out. It's only 5 minutes, but I think it goes into pretty good detail about the basics of the dark pool. So that's kind of cool to see. Of course, we got the trending stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours. The trending stocks, GameStop, of course. GameStop, AMC. You got to have AMC up there. S&P 500, Alibaba, BlackBerry, and our beautiful Clover Health. Okay? And so you take a look at this list, and again, you see names that I've mentioned earlier on. The meme stock mania is happening today, and that was really cool to see. And the question is, where are we going to go? Hopefully continue to go up for the rest of the week. Hopefully even hit $10 for the rest of the week. I think that would be amazing if we hit $10 for the rest of the week there. And, we could go in real quick and take a look at it. A lot of people are, again, comparing it. GME, AMC, UP, Calls, BB, Wish, etc. So, again, good sentiment about the stock, 74%. And last but not least, we got to talk about a meme, of course. So I saw this on CLOV. That is how it feels. LFG, CLOV, one battle at a time. So, and that's just what it is, right? You have all these big guys that are trying to push this stock down and trying to basically short the entire company, right, at the end of the day. And it's just like, no, this is a good company. This is a company that's not in debt. This is a company that's $600 million in cash. This is a company that is growing in revenue year over year by over 100%. We're expanding into, states like Florida even recently. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Let us go to our fair value. This stock, in my opinion, totally undervalued right now. Let's get to a fair value, okay? So again, check out the subreddit. 42.7 thousand members. I remember when it was under like 10,000. Come on, join the subreddit, join the Discord. I'm on the Discord. You'll see me often on there as well. But overall, I like this stock. I want to say that I really do like this stock. I have a huge amount of my portfolio in this stock, and you would probably be extremely surprised on that percentage because I'm always am. And so again, just really happy to see the movement of the day. If you like this video, if you like this video, please, just subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Send a like out, share with your friends and the community as well. But I hope that we continue to have amazing days like today in the far future continuously. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.